Energy efficiency was a widely talked about concept even at the India Energy Week. In fact, Energy Efficiency Services signed an MOU for promoting energy in Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand. I caught up with Vishal Kapoor, the CEO of EESL, to find out more about the company's climate action plan and its contribution to India's electric vehicle revolution. I began by asking him about EESL's collaborations.
IMT-GT delegation coming from Malaysia and sign an MOU with us. Basically, the MOU deals with evoking synergies between India and Malaysia to scale up energy efficiency interventions in Malaysia. ESL has scaled up a lot of projects like street lighting, LED lamps, bulbs, fans, and what we look at is if we are able to evoke synergies under this MOU as we go forward. Even Malaysia, under the Green City Action plans that they have laid out, they'll be able to leverage our strengths. The collaboration can range from anything from project consultancy, our advice to them on e-mobility, or consultancy on projects, even procurements, and doing the projects as well.
So
that was
one, and there are many others.
Yes, I think, and the second one was with Etihad Energy in the evening, and that is again, Etihad Energy is again a great ESCO company, similar to what ESL is in India. So what we are trying to do is to evoke synergies between the two companies. They can leverage our strengths, we can leverage theirs, and collaborate, but because actually climate action is a joint effort.
You know, those clearly have been the buzzwords when you look around at IEW: strategize, collaborate, knowledge sharing. Do you think that really is what will help scale up? Because that's exactly what you're talking about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because climate action is something that cannot happen individually. You know, ESL is doing something. So the way ESL sees as we go forward, we know that with an 8 lakh crore market lying in wait of energy efficiency, even only in India, to meet our INDC commitments, I think ESL cannot do it alone. It has to be partnerships, it has to be collaborations. So the way I see it and the way ESL sees it, it's about just evoking partnerships, creating markets, creating partnerships with climate funds, and get the money out into the market, de-risk, create a pipeline of projects. So that is what lies. And even abroad also, like if Malaysia is able to take some things from India's learnings in the last 5 years as ESL has scaled up, I think that will be a real good thing. I mean, it's like, I mean, for ESL, more than a commercial opportunity, is more like a happiness that will come in the company, that yes, we were able to not only do it in India, but help other countries.
So EVs is a big thing clearly coming in for India. Bangalore, I mean, the kind of EV charging stations that we saw crossroad have been quite a bit, and you are the man who's been given the responsibility to increase that number there. What is the visibility going forward? What is the timeline? What is the number you're working with?
50,000 e-buses. That public e-mobility is the most important thing as of now. If we are able to push out electric buses in a big way, that will be the real game changer, because the more the visibility of electric mobility on the roads, and buses are huge, big, and once they move on the road, they carry with them some network effects and people get confidence. So 50,000 electric buses, out of which around 16,000 we have already bid out. And as we go forward, we are already working on the future tenders, aggregation of demand, and we're getting very encouraging responses. And I think every 2-3 months we should be coming out with something around 5,000 buses. And this right now, so far, we have only targeted the SUs, but then SU buses are only 150,000 out of an overall number of 18 lakh buses plying in the country, private sector and institutional. So those are also areas where we can kind of expand.
Okay, a lot of good news and a lot of good numbers to work with, and as you said, exciting times coming ahead. But what are the challenges? What do you think needs to be done within companies and with the governments too?
Yes, I think energy efficiency somehow is a difficult task. As opposed to renewables, which you can see there, a big wind farm or a big solar park, energy efficiency is more disaggregated. It lies in your home, it lies in my home, it lies in that MSME, it lies in that MSC. So this disaggregation makes it difficult, and the flow of finance is not that easy because of this disaggregation. What is required is basically an ecosystem which can tie up the finance, the pipeline of projects, the credit worthiness of the entities need to be seen, creation of an ESCO market. All this needs to be tied up. So that is something that we look at very with a close intent as we go forward, and this 8 lakh crore market can be done only if this ecosystem is ushered in, and that is we are going to imagine ESL.
And speaking of energy transition, Japan's Ryo Minami from the Agency for Natural Resources and Energy said that the country can bring good green technology to other Asian countries. He also spoke on how India and Japan are planning to collaborate on renewables. Almost everybody at India Energy Week believes that much of the incremental demand growth going forward will come from Asia. What do you see Japan contributing to that kind of a demand growth?
Okay. So I think that carbon neutrality is a big challenge for all countries, including Asian countries. So considering that Japan has a good technology such as hydrogen, ammonia, and energy efficiency. So Japan can make a good contribution to Asian countries with such good technologies.
There's a lot of conversation also around on how sustainability, ensuring that there are positive supply chains and affordability being worked upon as well. What's your sense on that?
So I think that the good supply chain is essential for sustainable development of decarbonized world. So far, Japan has a good connection with India and other Asian countries, so we can make a good supply chains with such countries.
Mr. Minami, how would you look at the next 5 years? Because a lot of investments are being talked about right now, but on ground, what kind of implementations have you seen on the country?
So I think that the world is taking away from COVID. So business, including energy business, must be activated. So next 5 years is very important period for us to start decarbonization business. So Japanese financial company will make a good contribution to that.
There is, a lot of collaborations happening, a lot of strategies are being devised as well, and countries are coming up with more regulations and policies to ensure that there is a smoother energy transition. How is Japan looking at those policies there?
So the decarbonization is one of the top priority policy in Japan. So Japanese announced the green transformation strategy last year. So based on that strategy, the Japanese government will establish new system and a new mechanism. Yes.
And it's not just about each country devising their policies. I mean, there's something called inter-countries as well. Do you think the other countries are doing as much, and is that as per your policies too?
So climate change is not local matter, it's a global matter.
Yes.
So it is indeed that the global framework is necessary to solve this matter effectively. So I think that especially in Asia, economy is growing up rapidly. So Asia rule is expected a lot.
And when you look at renewables as well, there are just so many verticals there. You have battery making, EVs and solar. People are talking about hydrogen as well, various varieties on that too. And there's so much being talked, and it's ever evolving. The kind of investments we are making right now and the expectation that these also will evolve going forward, how is the visibility for the next 5 years, 10 years on that?
So battery is a very important part of EV. So I think the investment needs correct prediction. I think that investment should be more and more, but prediction is not so clear so far. So I think the more correct estimation should be made from the cooperation of many countries.
Between India and Japan, when it comes to energy, what are the conversations happening right now?
So I had many meetings with Indian government officials. So the Japanese side and India side are very positive to make a cooperation and have meetings. So I think through those meetings, we will start the initiative to start decarbonization.
All right, that's a mandate, of course, coming in from companies and countries as well. There was a lot of conversation between countries and India too. But with that, we'll go for a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we get back, we'll get you more exclusives from the India Energy Week when we return.